temperature ignites. Sellers in control, watch their sales grow. Empowered to win with eRank we flow.
What do you think?
I love it.
That is so
That's
fun.
perfect.
That was Sophie did that last week. She found a new tool. We're not sponsored, but Udio. Give it a try, Starl. Actually, it's great fun. You just type in what you want it to sing about, give it a style, and it comes up with stuff. It's been really good. So
That was fun.
yeah.
All right. Well, guys, let us know. What do you think? What do you think of the new eRank theme song? Happy Thursday, everybody. I've been away for a minute, so this is all new to me. It's a whole new world. How long have we had that?
Just last week. Sophie came up with it on Wednesday, and I was like, Anthony, can we please use that? Can we use that? So
what did he say? Did he like it?
He loved it. Absolutely. Yeah, he loved it. Checked it was okay for us to use, and it's okay for us to use. So we've got another one. Everyone will have to stay, especially you, Starla. Everyone will have to stay till the end to hear our outro as well, because different music for that.
Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah. Hi everyone. Happy Thursday. If this is your first time here, we're here every Thursday at this time answering your Etsy and eRank related questions. So we've got a couple of questions from the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, links in the description. But we'll start with them. But in the meantime, you can get in your comments. You can ask Starla how her holiday went, or any Etsy eRank related questions.
I don't want to
how
talk
did your
about
holiday go?
I'm in mourning. I want to go back.
I'm not that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, you think you're tired and you need a break, you go on holiday, vacation, you go on vacation, you come back, then you've got twice as much work to do and you need another holiday to recover.
It's true.
Basically.
That's how I'm feeling. Trying to catch up after taking a break is you need a vacation from everything you had to catch up on. So
yeah. And yes, indeed, Sammy, you can post questions here. We would love your questions.
Awesome. Susanna, I really liked last week's Friday Bean with Halloween products. It gave me some ideas. Yeah, we weren't here, but we pre-recorded the Friday Bean and streamed it live. And then I forgot to even check that it was working. I was like in a pool, not even paying attention. So
that's the best way to be. Yeah, it went absolutely fine. I had a wee look, and hey, that's what keyword research should be. It should be giving you inspiration for stuff you can make. If you're doing it good, if you're getting things right, you should be sitting there going, "That's a great idea. I'll do that."
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to answer the two questions from the Facebook group first, and then we will get on with the questions from the chat. So I already see a couple coming in. Feel free to get your questions into the live chat, and we'll get to those in just a moment. But let's start with Sophie actually submitted a question that was added to the French eRank group, and it sounds like Pam already did some research. So we should have a good answer.
If you ask our questions in advance, I get a time to actually check out the proper answers.
Yes, assuming that it's something that we don't already know about. Most things we do have an answer for you, but sometimes you guys throw us a curveball. So Sophie, let's see. I'm seeking your input regarding alternative text. So alt text on our photos. Do you create a detailed description with keywords for each image of every product, or do you simply copy and paste? And I would also like to ask an additional question. If your shop's main language is not English, and or if your shop's translated into more than one language, which language should be used for the alt text? So I assume it's the second question that you got clarification on. Well, the first one, yeah, the first question, I would, because you're helping those with visual impairments to understand what each photo is. And you have to serve as their eyes. And if your product is, I've got the only thing I have on my desk right now. No, that's not true. I got one of those cool fragrant jewel candles that Mark got me with it's got like a ring in it whenever I burn it. But if, my product is wolf head candle jar. Maybe my second, alt text is wolf head shaped candle jar with lid lying on the table, and wick of the candle lit. Every photo looks different. Hopefully you're not just uploading the same exact photo over and over again. So any variance in those photos you can describe. Like I've always said, imagine that you're describing that product to someone who's completely blind. Yes, the product is the same, but it's very unlikely that you're uploading the exact same photo. So there's even if it's just, product laying on its side is the only difference. Describe what the product is again, and then put that it's laying on its side.
Yeah, I did a little research about this bit as well, because I haven't looked into alt text as much as I should. And I had a look into what Google's saying about this, and they are basically saying, and it makes a ton of sense, what Starla's saying here as well, but you don't need to or want to keyword stuff your alt text. That's not the point of it. You don't need to repeat your shop name. You don't need to repeat your title or anything, because the search engines already know them. What you're doing is, it's for two things that are very much the same thing. It's describing the item to the visually impaired person. So it can really help if you say the lid is off the candle, the lid looks like the ears of the top head of the fox, and it's off the candle to the right hand side. Because if you're a little visually impaired, that can help you picture where things are in the scene. And the other thing, what it helps with, is things like the Google system understanding what your picture is. So if you say what your picture is, that you're training Google, that's what a picture looks like. That's what a picture of a wolf head candle looks like. So that's totally what they're there for. But the other bit, because I think Sophie just said that French sellers just got the option to add alt text just recently. I spoke to Etsy Chat about this after doing a lot of digging into all the policies and everything, and there's nothing about it just now. They're still only mentioning if your shop's in English. They haven't even mentioned if you're in another language. But Etsy Chat got back to me very quickly and gave me a clear answer. So that's a good thing. That shocked me. Yeah. And they basically said, Etsy will translate everything, do your alt text in the language of your shop.
Which is most things that they tell us to do.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep with that. You don't need to translate it or anything. It'll show, and assumedly it'll read out something, I suppose we can check ourselves, maybe just going over and looking, but whatever language your browser is in, Etsy, your people are looking for stuff, Etsy will translate to that country.
Right. Yeah, and Kat had even said, I use alt text when my double vision is bad, so clarifying some of the details really helps. I can't tell the difference between some things like a wolf and a cat, so descriptive text is perfect. Yes, and those who rely on screen readers to read out what's in that photo, can you imagine how disappointing that would be if you're interested in purchasing something and you can't quite see it, and you utilize that screen reader and then it reads you a big jumble of keywords? That's going to really turn off those visually impaired customers and make them feel like you don't really want to help them understand what you're buying. On the flip side, though, if you're the only competitor, in your niche who has alt text filled out, guess what? You are the only visible product to those who have visual impairments. You're the only thing that they can see in the way that they see, in the way that they perceive things. So be the one who makes accessible listings. I'm trying to work on that now that the new listing editor finally allows us to add alt text. I have to book out an entire week to get all that done, but it's well worth it, especially before the holidays.
Yeah, it's a quiet time just now for many of us, so it's a good time to sit down and do it. If you have thousands and thousands and thousands of listings in your shop, prioritize the ones that are getting seen the most. basically, if your listing's getting no views, you're not helping or hurting anybody. So go into your most popular listings, prioritize them first, prioritize your main thumbnail first, and then when you've got time, go back and do the rest. But yeah, I absolutely need to sit down and do that a lot more myself as well.
All right. We've got one more from the Facebook group from Debbie, not our Debbie, different Debbie. And then we will get on to the questions that have been submitted to chat. So thank you guys for being patient. Debbie asked, is there any way to determine sales by traffic source? I'm thinking the answer is no, even if you install Google Analytics. This year, I've been getting more and more traffic from Pinterest, not due to me, probably due to Etsy's catalog. So is there a way to determine conversion rate so I can help determine if it's worth the time? I'm thinking the conversion rate is much lower on Pinterest and social media. Sales by traffic source, is there? I don't think there is.
You can't even dig into that if you understand Google Analytics, or last time I looked at it, because Etsy doesn't give us the right amount of data to be able to do that. So you can't go that deep into the weeds. Social media will convert less, but it's not a bad thing. That if it's bringing you a load of traffic, you will get some sales, and some sales is good. But just look at, your bang for, not your buck, but your bang for your time there. How much time is it taking you to do this, to get seen on Pinterest? And is it growing? Are you getting seen more and more? I would say keep on doing it. If you're getting hundreds and thousands of views from Pinterest for a reasonable amount of work, sounds worth it. Some of that will convert to sales. Sounds good. If you're getting 1 or 2 views for hours of work, maybe find a way to do it a bit easier.
Yeah, and you could always, there's tools. My favorite is Metricool. Metricool allows you to schedule to Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. So if you've got, a short form video content strategy, obviously that could be very helpful. But for me, when I'm scheduling out content, obviously there's going to be some content that performs better on certain social media platforms than others. Pinterest, obviously longer pieces of content perform well, and you can't do that on Instagram. But if it's more about saving time, I dare say being able to schedule all from one place, it does make things very easy. Otherwise, I post to every single social media platform every single day, but I schedule that stuff out like 2 months in advance so that I don't have to touch it. So as long as you're comfortable doing something like that, it can't hurt. It can only help. Sometimes it just takes getting that good time-saving strategy incorporated into your workflow so that you're not having to invest too much time into thinking about it. Because that's the hard part, right? It's actually thinking, oh crap, did I post something today? And scheduling it out way ahead of time does make it easier.
Yeah, I think that's another sort of good point as well, is just scheduling it out and leaving it and thinking about it every now and again. A lot of people, if they're trying to build on Pinterest or something, will be posting and then digging into their analytics and then checking this and then maybe following 20 people and commenting on things and stuff. And there's probably a lot of the work that's busy work. It's in photography, it's called chimping, when you take a picture and then look at your result, take a picture and look at your result. And that's kind of what we all sort of do when we're working on things. When you're working on SEO or you're working on social media, you post a post or something, and then you go into it and it's like, it's had a view, and then you go into it 2 minutes later, it's still only had a view. Oh, it's had 3 views. It's like, that's not good amount. That's not a good use of your time. We've probably all done it, but it's not a good use of your time.
That's what I like about Metricool too. Not sponsored, but I do like it, is that each social media account that you're scheduling to and that you have connected to your Metricool, you can just let it go for like a month or however long you have your content scheduled for. And it gives you like a big overview right from one page. So you can actually just see like, oh, this day I got, a lot of interactions on Pinterest for this type of post. I'll make more posts like this one. And it can kind of help you to gather some direction as to what's working without having to sit and do what Pam said, where you're like, oh, this one got a like, this one got a like, another like, that's not a good use of your time.
Bet we've all done it though.
Yeah. Let's see. I feel like your name isn't Sammy. I feel like I'm Americaning your name really bad. So please correct me in the chat if I'm Americaning it too much. Actually, Pam, I think you said Sammy too. But I always look at the top competitors of similar products, and their keywords are not good at all, but remain at the top search. How is that so? This is my favorite question. So you could go to Etsy right now and find a top ranking, best selling, top performing product. You could steal their whole title, all of their tags, all of their photos, and their description. You could make a absolute 100% perfect copy of this listing. And when you list it, it will not rank beside that item in search, because keywords are just one teensy weensy factor that plays into a very large machine. Etsy tells us of 7 different factors that influence search ranking. 7. Relevancy is just one of those. And that doesn't include all the things that they won't tell us that influence ranking. So why are you seeing competitors that have similar products, but their keywords aren't good? Well, first of all, there's the potential that they've been around a lot longer than you. They've built what are known as listing quality scores, which are built through repeat sales. They could be driving traffic from social media and other avenues that are helping them to get traffic to those listings, resulting in sales, resulting in good reviews, which will boost that listing up in search. It's also very likely that you're looking at the keywords and you're saying these aren't good keywords, or you're using eRank tools to analyze those keywords, and we're telling you at eRank, okay, these keywords aren't good. But it's not just the keywords as they're entered. It's also those keywords and how they're broad matching with every other term that is used within that listing's title or tags. So what you're perceiving, it may look like those keywords are not good when they are on their own. But Etsy is able to take all of the words that you have used in your title and all of the words that you have used in your tags, and they mix and match them in every possible combination to make new complete phrases. So with that in mind, what you're perceiving as a keyword that might not, or a listing that might not have the best keywords, you might be looking at those keywords as they're entered, but you might not have a full scope of the terms that those listings are actually ranking for because of those broad matching capabilities. What I would recommend is keep an eye on your competitors, but don't overanalyze and don't try to replicate strategies that you don't understand how they're working. Because a lot of the times these strategies only work because these individuals have been selling for a long time. And despite the fact that their keywords are really bad, Etsy has recognized that those are the keywords that they want to be known for. Therefore, Etsy has an understanding of what this item is because it has been on Etsy for so long. It has been selling well. It's received reviews. And Etsy is able to say when people are searching for a wolf jar-shaped candle, they're typically clicking on this particular one and buying it and leaving good reviews for it, even though the keywords that the seller listed for this wolf-shaped candle aren't great. We know that this is a wolf-shaped candle, so when people are looking for wolf-shaped candles, we should probably show them this one. Again, just an example, not an Etsy product, but there are a lot of different factors that are likely tying into the reason that these individuals are successful, many of which are not necessarily going to be replicatable within your own shop.
Yep, I was literally just talking about this today, but I'm sure everyone understood from Starla, but I like giving this example anyway. So imagine you're an actor and you've seen a call going out for the Aquaman 15 movie. I don't even know which one we're up to. And you sit down and you write, You write your CV, you write your resume, and it's perfect. You write a perfect cover letter. You get 20 references from people saying you're awesome, and you go along to the interview, and you're sitting next to this big guy called Jason who's next to you, and the guy comes out, looks at you, looks at Jason Momoa and says, "Yep, you've got the job, mate." And you're like, "That's not fair. He didn't even have a cover note. He didn't have any references. He didn't need to make his listings himself. He didn't need to make himself more appealing by adding all the keywords in, by doing all the things, because whoever's making the movie already knows he's a good bet to make the movie." And it's the same with this person's listing. These top shops in your niche are not your competitors. They're way ahead of you. They're Jason Momoa, and you're the guy that's just come out of drama school. They're just so much ahead of you, unfortunately. They're your inspiration. They're your idea that there's a marketplace for your kind of thing, but they're in a different league from you. We're starting at the bottom as the little guy, and we need to find those keywords that we can get seen for as our little place in. Those are like us doing the little commercials where you're just standing in the background smiling or something.
Well, they had followed up. They said, but a lot of them have been there for less time, and yet my visibility is very low, even with A-grade SEO keywords. So there's two parts to this. What you mentioned time. So as I said, there are 7 total factors that Etsy tells us about, and probably a slew that they don't tell us about. So let's get rid of relevancy, which is keywords. Let's get rid of recency, which is the time in which a listing has been listed. Okay. So probably be easier for me to put those two down. Anytime I do demonstrations with fingers, I always end up accidentally flipping someone off. So we'll get rid of relevancy and we'll get rid of recency. We still have 5 other factors. We have attributes. We have personalization, which is how personalized search from each shopper is, being matched for those terms. We have, let's see, localization. So where geographically, like how geographically close you are to that individual. Oh God. And the last 2 are always the ones that I lose.
Marketplace score.
Yes. Shop and marketplace experience score. So that's going to be the accumulative track record of, how Etsy perceives the shop. How frequent do they ship on time? Do they get good reviews? Have they ever had any reports against them? Any IP infringements? That's their good standing with Etsy. And then language and translations. That's the other one is, which obviously that one is fill out your tags and titles in the language in which you have set your shop when you start. Those are the 7 factors. So my advice is that you've got 2 that you say aren't, it can't be time, and you feel like you have good keywords. There's still 5 others. So I would deep dive into Etsy's Ultimate Guide to Search and try to figure out which gears you can tighten. But like Pam said, don't focus too hard on, them as a competitor. Obviously everybody wants to try to reverse engineer what their competitors are doing, but you don't know what it is that is driving that success. And you had said that even with A-grade keywords, there's no such thing as A-grade keywords. Our listing audit tool and the grades that you see there are not telling you that you have good keywords. The listing audit tool is telling you how well your listings abide by Etsy's best practices. You can technically get an A-grade listing with crappy keywords. You have just ticked all of the boxes that are basically stating that you have created that listing based on those best practices for Etsy. It is not telling you that your SEO is good. The best way to know if your SEO is good, setting up Google Analytics and connecting it to our traffic stats tool. That way you can actually see which keywords are bringing people to your listings. That way you know which keywords you're using are the good keywords so that you can use them across other listings, figure out what works. The track changes tool. When you track changes on a listing, it'll take a daily snapshot of that listing's views, favorites, and sales, so that when you make changes, you're able to see which changes had the most positive impact on those listings. Or, on the flip side, if you make changes to a listing and it hurts that listing, you'll be able to see that as well. Track changes, traffic stats.
I'd go spotted on Etsy as well for that. Yeah, so spotted on Etsy, especially if you have Google Analytics connected up as well to eRank, but you can put in your keywords that you've chosen as your most important keywords, and once a day Etsy will take a snapshot and see eRank will take a snapshot and see where you're ranking through the Etsy API. That's not the same as what you're going to see, because everyone sees something different. It's sort of the average position. But also with your Google Analytics connected up, it'll also show you where a customer saw you when they clicked on you through a keyword. It will show you where you were ranking for that keyword, and you'll see the trend over time as well, because it's awesome. The other thing, apart from Stella's advice, all awesome, but there is one other thing. We assume someone might have an absolutely awful shop, might have no keywords at all. Their listing might just call itself Dave, but if they have a big social media somewhere else, if they're a massive celebrity and they launch things, it's going to sell anyway, because people are going to find it through their social media. So you don't know, they might be bringing traffic that's not even related to keywords. There's plenty of other ways.
And it could be that even if they don't have a big social media following, what if an influencer got a hold of one of their listings and pinned it, on their very popular Pinterest board because they thought that it was pretty, and maybe that seller, just reaped the benefits. There are so many factors. He had followed up and said, do you do one-on-one Etsy audits? Unfortunately, we do not. However, if you post in the eRank Facebook group, which is linked down below if you're not already a member, you are more than welcome to request help in there from our members. We have staff in there. That is usually the best place to ask for advice like that.
Yeah, we also have Reddit,
That's true.
which we're just setting up. Yeah, well, I think we're up to about 60 followers on Reddit. Or
awesome.
I think you call them followers. And as it's brand new, we're all nipping in there and stuff, but very much more likely to be able to get seen even. So pop over there, eRank community on Reddit. Jessica, if you're here, can you post a link? I don't have on my fingertips just now, but yeah, if you ask there as well, that's another good place.
Perfect. All right, let's see. Amanda had asked, been using eRank lots lately. Are tags only used as broad match, or does exact match come into play with tags as well? Yes, words within a single tag. As soon as you have another tag, even if those tags are right next to each other, if they are in their own bubbles, those are going to broad match. But within a tag, you'll exact match. If it is sterling silver necklace, you'll exact match for sterling silver necklace, and sterling silver, and sterling, and silver, and necklace. Those are all of the exact matches, plus, all those words in any combination with all of the other words within other tags.
Yeah, Etsy does sort of mention this. If you look on, as Starla mentioned earlier, the Ultimate Guide to Etsy Search, I think it's a page in it, how search works, but it explains what's going on, and it talks about recency and all the rest, but relevancy. So having an exact match is slightly more relevant. So yes, exact match can be a good thing, but broad match also means you have the option to match for a lot more different things. So it's a balancing act.
And
that's why you see some.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's why you'll see some shops that you'll look at and go, that looks awful. When I do a listing audit for them on eRank, all their tags are showing no search volume. Yeah, but they might just be going for the broad match. They might just have lots of words that combine into keywords.
Yeah. Jessica didn't post. You'll have to switch to the eRank account on YouTube, or do me a favor, Jessica. Actually, you know what? I'll find it. It'll be all right. I was going to tell you to Slack it to me, but I'll find it. Let's see. I will post it in just a second because it is such a pain. It like blocks all links if you're not logged into the eRank account. Kat had asked, bit of fun. What are your top 3 predictions for Etsy Q2 results at the end of the month? Ooh, Pam.
Next week.
Is it next?
Next Wednesday, myself and Brian will be going live after this next, and Stella's welcome to join us too, if she's got time. But we'll be going live after this on our own respective channels because we're trying to do an experiment together going through this. But I love this. What's the top 3 predictions for Etsy's Q2 results? Do you want the happy version or the cynical version? No. Predictions for the results are, I predict they're going to say there's been a lot of headwinds. It's been a difficult time. They're going to say gift mode is being picked up well by media. And they think that's going to do well going ahead into Q4. They're going to say they've been making good steps forward. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying, they're saying. This isn't what necessarily what I think. They're going to be thinking they've made good steps forward with starting to change up the search so that buyers understand how handmade something is with the recent changes they just made a couple of weeks ago. I think that's my top 3 predictions, but big thing is, yeah, I'm reckoning the numbers will still be down, but they're going to be bigging up saying that the stuff they're working on just now is going to snowball, and hopefully the next couple of quarters will start to see the results. I think they might possibly, I think they're going to have some announcements about Etsy Explore, just because some people with iPhones are noticing it being shown up a little bit more. So, and Josh did mention in the Bernstein webinar about talking about how the TikTok algorithm's so good and he wants Etsy to be a place to come for entertainment.
Yes.
And what did the Etsy Explore thing always remind you of? It's TikTok for crafts, really. So that's my guesses, but we'll find out in a week. You got any thoughts, Stella?
I think that we'll see. I mean, I think that we're going to see our annual uptick in traffic as we get closer and closer to Q4. Obviously, traffic's going to increase, and I think that Etsy is going to claim full responsibility for that uptick in traffic, even though I think it's just the natural order of things because we're getting closer and closer to the holiday season. I think they're going to say, wow, look at how great all of our changes are impacting our marketplace. And I think that it's just the natural order of traffic. And you know how it is. We've been here long enough that we know what Etsy traffic looks like through the seasons.
Guys, let us know in chat what you think will be the predictions. Because that is, I think this is one of the best questions we've had because it's fun. We can't really answer it, but we can speculate. But I think the tone will be hopeful because the Q1 tone was things are bad and we appreciate they're bad and here's what we're doing. So that's like the dip. And I think the tone will be deliberately things are looking up, but you can't see the up yet. Wait till Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Definitely, everyone, we'll keep an eye out on Wednesday. Close of business. It's usually about 5 o'clock Eastern time. And it's usually up then. Keep an eye out because there's often little nuggets, and also if they're going to make changes, they usually do it around about the time so they can mention it in the report.
Mm-hmm. I sold my first Christmas ornament, so already in July. So just be aware that those weird Christmas shoppers who start in July, they're out there. They are starting. I don't know who they are.
I've had 2 reviews already with stuff I made going, I don't know how I'm going to wait till Christmas to give this to them. It's like, wow, you're so organized.
It's so organized. Let's see. Special creations. Let's see. I'm brand new to eRank. Welcome, welcome. I sell handmade greeting cards. Can I repeat any keywords repeatedly? It's difficult to come up with 13 different words for 20 different birthday cards. You mean across multiple listings? Yeah, if that's what it is, you cannot compete with yourself. That is a phrase that Pam and I loathe, because there are some gurus out there who say don't use the same keywords across multiple listings because those listings will compete with themselves. If someone is searching for a greeting card, would you not want them to search for it and then see lots of your listings and fewer of your competitors? Absolutely utilize keywords related to greeting cards in all of your greeting card listings. Now, what you don't need to do is use the term greeting card, greeting card, greeting card, greeting card in all of your tags. You don't need to say birthday greeting card, birthday greeting card for birthday, greeting card for mom's birthday. You don't need to repeat that specific word over and over again within a listing, because like Pam and I talked about previously, Etsy will broad match, basically play a game of mix and match with all of the words within your title and all of the words within your tags to figure out the context of what you're selling and create new phrases.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible advice that I don't know if somebody gave the advice and people have picked it up wrong and ran with it and then are given the bad advice of not repeating the keywords repeatedly. You can even now, with tags in a single listing, there's many different strategies, as we say, if you're going for exact match or broad match or whatever else. But Etsy have given examples themselves when they're saying, like, if you have to split up a keyword that's too long. I remember they gave this example. It's something, I can't remember the exact thing. It's something about a ring and it's a long keyword, and they said you can break it up, and the examples they gave would be something like wedding ring and pearl and gold ring or something. So they said 2 tags that could contain the word ring in them because they were both good keywords that match together to get your superstar keyword. So don't fear having the same word more than once if you found 2 really good keywords, because if you're selling cards, you're going to find a couple of keywords probably that say the word card somewhere. It's hard to say card in many different ways.
Yeah.
But after you've done 2 or 3 keywords that are right superstar keywords, then maybe think about those broad matches and just put in, greetings, birthday, mother, father, dog, anniversary, whatever's relevant for that card. Maybe throw in some of those more broad matches as well. But you could have a listing if you wanted to rank for birthday card and that was the only keyword that you wanted to rank for. You could have a tag that was just birthday card and that was it, and your listing would be optimized for birthday card. You could have 13 tags with the word birthday card and you would be just as optimized. You wouldn't be penalized. It would be an absolute waste of time typing, but you're not penalized for repeating the words. It just means you've got less words to use to match for more things.
Yeah. Now they had a
and you
follow-up.
definitely not. Oh,
Okay.
cool.
This sounds like someone who really doesn't like you. They gave you like the worst advice ever to try to sabotage you. I was told no spaces between words for tags. Now I'm seeing otherwise. So spaces or no spaces? Spaces. If you put no spaces, then that big jumble birthday card, that's Etsy's going to see that as a word, and no one is searching for birthday card as one big long word. That is awful, terrible, very bad advice. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That sounds like someone who's trying to mess with you to sabotage your shop. That's awful advice.
Yeah. I have to say, congratulations on given me something that I've never heard as advice before.
Yeah.
There's a first time for that. But whoever it was that was given that advice, I would probably stop asking them things, but at least ask them why they're suggesting that, because they are very wrong. If you put birthday card all as one word, Etsy will not see birthday and card, or they're very unlikely to see birth date and card. They'll see birthday card, and no one's searching for birthday card, basically.
That was such, I really appreciate you submitting that though, because I'm constantly looking out for like the bad advice that floats around. And I have never heard that one, and I don't think Pam has either. So I actually saved it in my board for my next SEO tips that will kill your shop video. So thank you. She said, Google it. It even tells you no spaces. Can you give me the exact keyword phrase that you're requesting? Is it the Google AI thing? Because it also tells you to eat one small rock a day to stay healthy, and that pregnant women should smoke cigarettes. So
Yeah.
let me know.
Let us see a little more into that, but no spaces.
Right. What's Google? We're on Google, because Google doesn't tell you anything. Google links you to articles and things. And if that article is anything other than Etsy.com, then it's probably not an official source that you should be listening to. But let me know what you specifically searched for on Google, because I would love to, if there is a bad source out there, I'd love to like get a little screenshot of it.
Yeah, well, I'd love to know the keyword. So, because if there's a keyword that you're searching for and ranking high is some bad advice like this, eRank, I think we need to make some blogs to push that out of the front page of search, basically. Because I don't want people finding stuff. This isn't let's push away the competition. I don't want people finding advice that will absolutely kill their shop, because that absolutely is not good.
Yeah, that's probably some of the worst Etsy advice that I've ever heard. So, and Pam and I, our job, I've been using this phrase a lot. We're not here to be right. We're here to do right. And doing right means helping people to not, like Pam said, do things that could completely kill their shop. So let us know if you remember exactly what you typed into Google to actually find that that result, so that we can take a peek at it. And yeah, we will definitely maybe do a blog. That way, if someone Googles this in the future, they find correct information from, not that eRank is an official source, but we take very special care to make sure that everything is, yeah. She said that she must have Googled wrong, because now she can't find it. Or hey, or you Googled just fine, and whoever posted that terrible piece of advice was attacked by people, and maybe they deleted that terrible thing that they posted. So that's actually a good thing that you can't find it anymore.
Exactly. Yes. We just don't want people finding that. That's all.
Right. All right. Let's see. This I actually I can't understand the question here. How come on Etsy some bestseller listings show the exact number of sales last 24 hours, while others with about the same number of daily sales just display 20 plus views in the last 24 hours?
I didn't know that Etsy displayed that information. Maybe you're seeing a test.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
If you could go into, if you're part of the Facebook group, if you could attach a screenshot, because that's not something I've seen, unless you have some kind of extension added to your browser. I can't think what extension that would be, but that's not something I've ever seen on Etsy. But Etsy are testing loads of different ways to display things, and I could absolutely see them putting up something with the number of sales in the past 24 hours and then having lots of sellers complaining and them taking that down, because I think sellers would hate that. They would hate it for their own stuff. They'd like to see it on other people's stuff.
Debbie said, I've been seeing it for months, and said they do.
Okay,
Oh.
guys, can you leave a screenshot of that? I've never seen that, and it's the first I'm hearing of it.
I'm so spoiled to shopping on mobile these days that, yeah, I've never seen that before. So I'd love to see it though. Please post it in the eRank
Yeah.
group and tag Pam and I and let us know, because that's very interesting. Okay, let's see. But the short answer is, for now, I don't know. We'll just leave it.
I'm still not seeing it. It's saying 3 left and 20 in baskets, but it's not saying that's.
Yeah.
It's saying what I usually see. So bizarre. I
Mm-hmm.
bet you is that on the iPhone? Are they doing something on the iPhone? Because they keep giving you guys different things than the rest of us.
All right, let's see. I know themes are slightly different niches. A theme is a niche, which is how I've been getting so confused for so long. I sell under the eclectic magic theme. How can I get where I think outside the magical box more? Think more about the type of person that you're selling to. My biggest piece of advice would be to find people on social media, like influencers and things, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Find influencers who you feel, wow, these people feel like they would be my perfect target customer. And you don't need to message them or stalk them or anything, just observe. Observe what's in the backgrounds of their home. Observe the things that they all have in common. Observe their styles. Observe what's interesting to them. For example, when you go into a Hot Topic, do you guys have Hot Topic over there?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you go into a Hot Topic, you see gothic clothing, right? You see, trip pants and band t-shirts and black clothing and horror movie themed stuff. But you also see Hello Kitty and Care Bears. And you would think to yourself, wow, these cute little pastel Care Bears have nothing to do with vampires and horror movies and gothic clothing. When in reality, someone outside of the goth scene might not realize that goth kids love Care Bears and love Hello Kitty, and they'll wear all their dark and scary, terrifying clothing, and they'll be holding a Care Bear while they're doing it because it's just part of goth culture. Because it fits that particular scene. It has just become a staple of it. And it's easy, especially when you're a part of your niche, which I know that you are. But sometimes we're so close to our niche that we need to observe what other people are interested in. So for example, if you were observing within your own niche a lot of different influencers, and you noticed that they all had, I don't know, incense sticks in the background. Okay, well, that's interesting. Incense isn't necessarily, that doesn't necessarily fall into, I guess it does, into eclectic magic, but we'll just say that it's not something you offer. Okay, well, maybe that's something you could look into. Incense. What goes with incense? Incense burners and dishes and incense cone holders and the little incense extinguishers. There's lots of different ways that you could explore that niche. So I would really begin just spending time. It almost feels like time spent selfishly, because you think, man, sitting and watching YouTube of vloggers talking about horror movies, that's not research. That feels selfish. But you can learn a lot by actually just sitting and observing the really, really popular people within your niche.
Absolutely. And going to events and things, especially where there's like trade stalls and everything, you can see what people are selling. We have two ways that eRank can help a wee bit as well. If you use the keyword tool and scroll down to related searches, you can see the tags that other shops are using and the keywords that other buyers are using. They might give you other ideas. But one thing to really get outside of the box is our AI listing helper. Describe what your item is, and it'll give you some ideas for descriptions and tags and things. And occasionally that'll come up with some slightly different ideas that you maybe hadn't thought of. Because, yeah, absolutely. You can get stuck, especially when you're too close to a thing, you can get get really stuck in your own box and not think of different ways to describe or different ideas of things to make.
Exactly. Let's see. I sell original oil paintings and prints. Even though prints sell well, oil paintings take years to sell. Should I take my oil paintings to some other marketplace? I think that, and this is just an opinion, there's no real wrong answer, but think about a car dealership. What cars are at the front of the car dealership? The pretty cars, the expensive cars, the sports cars, the muscle cars, the fast cars, the cool cars are the ones that are in the front of the dealership, because they know that those are the cars that are going to get people into the dealership. But what do most people buy once they get in? They buy the minivans and the little economy cars and the family cars. They use those expensive, fancy, flashy cars to make people say, wow, this is so cool. I want to go check out more. And most people will walk away with the lower price option. I'm a big fan of having premium products in a store that you put there, not with the intention to sell right away, but for the sake of serving as what are essentially your window displays. The things that are going to make people say, wow, this is so cool. I want to see more. And then ultimately they walk away buying something that is a little cheaper, but that is going to help you, because obviously those repeat sales are what are going to serve your shop the best. It's not about, Etsy isn't rewarding people by how much money they make. It's the number of sales, right? It's getting lots of sales and making customers happy. I personally would leave them in there. But if you really want to sell them, and they're one of a kind, and obviously it makes it a little hard if you list them, like say on Go Imagine as well as Etsy, because there's always that risk that someone will buy it on Go Imagine and someone will buy it on Etsy and you've only got one. Pam, what's your opinion here?
I have a friend who is a beautiful painter, acrylic, I think, but the same problem as you. The paintings take a long time to create and they take a long time to sell. What I was going to ask, when you say you sell prints, are they prints of your paintings? So first of all, I hope they are. That's a really good thing. So what she does is, her shop is amazing and it is full of print on demand. She has notebook covers, keychains, fridge magnets, everything with high quality scans of her paintings. And she has avid followers who will buy just about every different one. When she creates a new painting, they follow her on social media and see start to finish of her creating that painting. They go to her Etsy shop, they'll buy a keychain, they'll buy a fridge magnet or something of that painting. And they will love it so much and they will save up. And one day they will aspire to buy one of her original works of art. It doesn't hurt her shop at all that she has some listings in it that are going to take years to buy, because it's the car dealership. It's the sweetie shop or the food shop that has the most beautiful things in the window that you stand and drool at, and then you go in and buy like one little measly thing because you found out they're really, really expensive, but you bought something. I think most people have heard of Harrods. It's a very posh store in London. And so one of the okay, Google it. It is absolutely, it's one of like the original department stores, but a very, very expensive high-end one. And when I was a kid, a load of us went to London and we knew we were going to Harrods and we all had to buy something from Harrods. And literally it was like a bottle of water or the tiniest thing because it was so expensive, but we all bought something from Harrods. So having something that's high end there brings people into your shop. They drool over their shop. They say, look at that wonderful artist. Hey, it's cool. I can afford to take a little bit of their art. So, but I mean, if you found a marketplace that also, like, sometimes something like oil paintings could maybe sell better at a proper art fair. So you could if you tie in your shop with Square, it is Square, isn't it? I've never done it. But if you tie in your shop, you could try selling things in person at the right kind of things. And then if they do sell, it comes out of your inventory. So that would be handy. Definitely doesn't hurt to have more than one outlet for your art, because some things just don't work, that great in one place. And if your prints are selling, sounds like people like your work.
Yeah. All right. We've got about 5 minutes. We'll try to speed round a couple more. Let's see. Susanna, do you think Etsy will increase fees this year? I've been hearing a lot of speculation. Short answer is we don't know until Etsy says something official. I don't have any solid reason to believe that they will. Pam, do you have any insight? Have you heard any whispers?
I've got two thoughts. Firstly, I don't think they will. I've got nothing to base that on other than they've sort of increased it twice relatively recently. I don't think that would be, they're trying to improve their image just now. That would be a pretty bad metric, but also they sort of already have. Kind of, for sellers in Canada who didn't know, they are adding a regulatory operating fee to Canadian sellers. Many countries already have that. In the UK, I think it's 0.3% or something. But in Canada, it's just over 1%. And that definitely does seem like a fee increase if you're in Canada. So I don't think they'll increase the actual fee, but there might be different fees, is my thinking. But we've got nothing to base it on. That's speculation.
Right. I'm just holding out for the investors report. That I'm not speculating on anything until then, which is not a long wait. So we've only got a couple days to wait.
Yeah, I think if they're going to increase fees, it'll probably be on Wednesday or in 3 months' time, if they're going to do it, because they usually sneak these things out with the investors report. So we'll see.
Yeah, I would hope that they would do it. If they're going to do it, they'll probably do it before the holidays, not like right in the middle of them. I would hope.
Let's tend to do crazy things just at the holidays.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. My product is Arabic calligraphy prints, but those specific niche search terms are very low, but generic words are so saturated. What would you advise I use, bearing in mind that there's definitely a market? Well, we don't have the knowledge of all keywords that exist in their search volumes. Unfortunately, this is the hard part of SEO. It's getting into those rabbit holes. The best thing that you can do, though, you say that there's definitely a market. Who are they? What are they interested in? What types of things are they searching for? Maybe Arabic calligraphy prints aren't searching, but maybe Arabic wall art, for example, is. You said that, that there are search terms that are low and generic that are too saturated. Again, that is the challenge that we all face, and it can take hours, days, weeks, months of doing research, testing, trying new things, and seeing what works. Yes, there are some terms are very saturated, especially if they're very short. For example, like wall art, you're probably not going to compete with them. But even if a term is highly saturated, it doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't use it. Because as we've talked about, even with, all of Etsy's broad matching capabilities, that generic term might pair very, very well with another term that you are using in your listings through broad matching, which could result in more traffic. It completely depends on your target audience, though, and the types of things that they're searching for. So you're talking about, you said, bearing in mind there is definitely a market. I would spend some time really deep diving into who that market is and what their interests are and the types of language that they use. And I don't mean language like different languages. I mean the way that they describe products and the way that they search. And that takes a lot of time and research. But observing those target customers, kind of like we talked about previously, when it came to, finding influencers who you feel are very closely related to the niche that you fall within, that's a really great way to kind of identify the types of things that they might be searching for and how they might be searching for those things.
Yeah. Okay. We don't have much time or any time to do anything, but use eRank keyword tool, Arabic art. And then all I've done here is filtered by the search trend to show stuff that was ranking last month. And you're seeing things come up. Palestine obviously has been doing well. Islamic wall art just peaked last month. So without even looking for a minute, I'm finding some terms that have just started ranking that might be related. I mean, yes, some of it won't be relevant at all, but there's terms that people are looking for. So that's eRank's keyword tool. There's always things when you dig into it. And I would say absolutely everybody pretty much can say niche search terms are very low, but generic words are saturated. That's every single niche on Etsy pretty much. We all have that problem, and that's what you do. Dig into it, and also create listings. Do the best you can with them. Let them run for a few months. See what's working, and also use the keyword tool to get ideas.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to grab the last one because we're technically a minute over. Any updates on the different tiers monthly payments option? It seems to be very quiet about that lately. Are we talking in reference to the Etsy, the speculation about there being monthly payment tiers for Etsy accounts?
I haven't heard anything about that. Their monthly thing, they launched that years ago and have done nothing with it. So
I've heard speculations about about them introducing a monthly payment tier, which I assume would be in an effort to both make more money so that hopefully they hire more support staff and help to clean up the marketplace a little bit and provide specialized help to the sellers who, probably pay for it, similar to how, for example, if you pay for Meta Verified, you get more priority support for Meta products. But no, I haven't heard anything else about it. And again, this is probably another one that if it is something that they're planning on introducing, we will hear about it during the investors report. So get excited for that. What day is that, Pam? You said Wednesday?
It's Wednesday next week.
I'm going to put it on my calendar. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out. By next week, hopefully we have some fun stuff to talk about when it comes to the investors report. That's always that leads us to so much fun content because there's always something to talk about. So make sure that you put Q&A on your calendar for Thursday, the 1st. Thursday, August 1st, because that's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
It wasn't easy.